Hello, my little weirdos. I have a few points and I've written them down on my computer. Um, and I've got a few points I'd like to, a few things that in case you don't follow things, political news and such like that. And so I gotta put on the reading glasses. um, but there's some points that I've been hearing the last couple days. I've been busy trying to get shopping done, food shopping, and all kinds of different things I've been trying to get done. And I think tomorrow I can actually stay home so I can clean the refrigerator out because I went shopping today and gotta put it all in. I gotta get stuff out. I'm just a regular person like you. um, the one thing is the first. I just heard this. I want to come off with this one. Candace Owens. You know she was banned from Australia um, because of her conspiracy theories, her right wing bullshit that's just lies, and she riles people up with lies and twisting things, and they don't want their citizens subjected to false narratives and lies about the democracies. So, um, New Zealand just banned her entry too. So, good job, Australia and New Zealand. We don't want her though. So, she's a traitor to her black heritage. She's a traitor to her female gender. So, we don't want her either. She's just a negative, hateful, conspiracy filled sheep. And ooh, I guess she's the black sheep of the family. Sorry. That just popped into my head, and that was like, so she really kind of is, though. She's with black people, with most black people except MAGA black people, who are being pushed away now from MAGA now that they got their vote. But I'm surprised eventually Candace might get the cold shoulder too. So it's early in the game. Um, yeah, North Carolina Republicans in their state elections, a they're trying to throw out 60,000 votes after the election results. After the election results, not during the tabulating. They're just picked 60,000 because they flipped a seat to Democrat, and the Republicans are angry, and now they're arguing, I guess, in their courts. Um, for that, I mean, Republicans, you guys are sore winners. You won most of the shit. Just give it a fucking rest. So, they're disenfranchising 60,000, and two of the ballots that they want to just toss are the candidate who won her parents' votes. How convenient that was, wasn't it? If votes were not legitimate, that's caught during tabulation. So, um, Joe Rogan, you know, that dude has gone so MAGA. And I'll tell you, everybody, this is why he flip flops. He doesn't do research, and he just goes on vibes. If he likes your vibe that day, you're a good person. You know, it's a shame because Joe Rogan had a reputation, of some degree, and obviously, and another one who just sold his soul to MAGA, to a cult. Wow. Yeah, Joe Rogan. Now there's two issues that I saved for last because one, the first one is if you on MSNBC, the Morning Joe show with Joe and Mika. You know, these entire 4 years, they have been acting all left, bashing Trump. I mean, saying he's a fascist, saying, if you cozy up with him, you're getting in bed with him. It's like, I mean, they were all in. As soon, and I saw this when it was there, when they first put this out. As soon as the election results came in, I mean, within that week or so, they get on their show one morning and they're acting all, we're being transparent. And I don't know if you've heard of what's happened, but they went on the show and they said, we're going to let you all know the weekend we went, whatever it was, we went down to Mar-a-Lago because we had said to Trump that now that he's won, and I hate using that name, but I'm talking as them. They wanted to know how they're going to be going forward because, what he said about, they wanted to find out what he meant when he said what he said about, closing stations and attacking the media and all this stuff. And obviously, most of us were done with them. You don't flip-flop like that unless you were faking it either before or now. But either way, if you flip-flop like Vance, as also DeSantis too, you speak bad about him, but as soon as he gives even a look at you as an interested in maybe bringing you in on his team or being in his good graces, being his buddy, he was trying to make it sound like we need to know what's going on, and I know if we're, not at least on a civil talking terms, we're never going to get that information and, and all that to be able to tell you, our viewers. And the entire time he was telling that, the first one they told us, the entire time that Joe was talking about the journalism part, what's going to be happening, what did you mean, all this stuff, the entire time Mika's looking down. She couldn't even look like that. She couldn't even do that. The entire minute or two that he was talking, she never once raised her eyes to the camera. She was like this the whole time while he was talking. And then at the end, she looked up because it was her turn to start talking. And that tells you everything. And apparently, Rachel Maddow and others, Ari and some others, Ari Stan, Ari Medi, you know who I'm talking about. They're not very happy with Joe because they're on the same, station. They're MSNBC, and I respect Rachel Maddow. So far, she has not wavered on her. And they tried to say, Joe and Mika tried to say something about, it's a journalist's job to, know all the facts and all this shit. And I'm going to read this because what I said. A journalist's job is to do televised interviews. So we know that you discussed what you said you discussed. Not slinking down without any fanfare first and then telling your audience that you did it. And the only reason that Joe and Mika probably told us, because there was backlash by the next day. Half their subscribers, half their watchers, viewers were gone, had unsubscribed and stuff. And so shit was they were getting freaked out. The only reason they came out and addressed it, is because they knew real journalists would eventually find out and bust them. So they figured they'd tell us. It was all planned. We were going to tell you all along. And even if they were going to tell us all along, you go down. Instead of telling us, we've asked, Donald Trump if we can speak with him, so if we can have a meeting. So, we'd like to know where exactly the media in general stands. And if we get, an invite to speak, we'll let you know. That wouldn't have been hiding it. But doing it first, slinking down there without anybody of us knowing it, and then coming back and telling us, no. That is where you've lost Democrats. And I don't know if they're going to want the Republicans are going to go back to them after everything they said for 4 years. So I'm hoping, and the thing is, I can understand to some degree if somebody's a journalist or has something like that, and they really need their job type of thing. Maybe they've got somebody they're supporting that has, cancer. Anything. You know what I'm saying? They're just having a hard. They need their damn job. And I could understand that to a degree, but your word and your morals shouldn't change just because of hard times. Who you are in hard times is really who you are, not who you are in good times. Who you are, anybody can be good and cheerful and happy and altruistic and compassionate in good times. It's who you are when the bad times and the shit hits the fan. That's who you really are. And we see who they really are. They don't be transparent. They could have said, we have asked for an audience with Donald Trump that we have not heard yet, but we just wanted to be transparent with you and let you know. They would have done that. The only reason they even told us is they knew others would get a hold of it. So not only don't Joe and Mika get any cookies, you snuck down behind our backs and then tried to gaslight us and make it sound like you were doing it so you could get the information for us. That's lame, Joe and Mika. You suck. Cancelled. You canceled yourselves. The last thing. Nobody's ever mentioned this fact. 22.3% of American women have been sexually assaulted / raped in this country. That's nearly 1/4 of all the Americans. Roughly, women and men are equal. Let's just pretend that's 1/8 of this population has already been sexually assaulted and raped, and I am one of them. What about, which I've already had, what about like 4 years of continual PTSD triggering every time we have to see that little President Rapist face, every time we have to see that President Rapist voice, hear his voice, telling him the shit he's gonna do to us, asking us to trust him when he's adjudicated rapist. Forget the felon part. So, where are the 23% of women that have been raped? Where are our rights not to have somebody leading our country and PTSD triggering us 24/7 for 4 years? And if any one of those women loses it with anything that he does, you're going to blame her. When it's the government you should blame for putting a rapist as our next president. You know, everybody bitches about the trans and the bathrooms. Well, let me tell you one thing. They don't do that. They don't care what when they have trans. And Caitlyn Jenner is not the only trans woman that has been at Mar-a-Lago. And they use the women's room just like every other woman. So their shit is a bunch of lies. And if you don't believe me, write a comment in there and I will post pictures in the community part of YouTube. And I will show you Caitlyn Jenner buddying up with him and Elon. A trans, somebody, I don't know who she is, but she's somebody apparently, over there gooning with the girls in front of the ladies' room. And they scream and get all of you little bigoted people all up in arms about shit that they don't even care about. Just to cause riling up and dissension. So people can be angry with each other and not pay attention to what they're doing. We're so busy fighting each other and yelling and insulting each other that they're doing shit like that. And they're just causing discontent among us. They don't care. 45, his family, any of those, Elon, he disowned, let me tell you about this, he disowned his trans daughter because it's not his son anymore. Publicly disowned her. And yet he buddies up and puts his arm around the waist of Caitlyn Jenner, a trans woman. Don't tell me they're sincere or genuine or they mean a damn thing they say or that they have any morals, because the Bible does not say disown your own family for something that you're buddying up to somebody else as a friend for. You disown your child for being trans, and then you're taking pictures down at Mar-a-Lago with a trans woman. Explain that to me, Elon. Explain that to me, President-elect Rapist. Explain that. He's playing all of you, America. He's playing all of you who voted for him. He has played you, and the longer you support him and stand behind him and not denounce him as a liar and is scamming your vote, the longer you don't speak up and tell him he's an asshole for lying to you and publicly denouncing the Republican Party, if you don't do that, you're one of them. Completely hypocritical. In public. That is how incredibly, you all think he's a genius. That is how incredibly stupid and immature Elon is. Yeah. Disowned his own daughter for being trans woman. And goes takes pictures with his arm around Caitlyn Jenner. Hypocrisy. I'm triggered by another 4 years of an adjudicated rapist and an abuser of women. What about us? What about the 22.3% of us? And then when one of us gets so angry because a rapist is going to be leading this country to the pits of hell, every time I fucking hear him or see his stupid face, all I think about is liar, cheater, felon, rapist. And I'm asking any of you who agree with me on this, as far as having a rapist as a president and PTS triggering a quarter of the American women for 4 years. You think that's fair? You think that's right? He's gonna rip away more mental health shit as everything else, and he's just dumping PTSD all over nearly a quarter of us American women. It's outrageous. Let me know what you guys think about that. Seriously. And I don't want to hear any of that chat 2024, any of that shit, because that's not intelligence discussion. That's not an intelligent comment. It's not a comment worth putting on there, except for saying to the public, I'm a little MAGA troll, I'm a parrot sheep, well, I'm going to talk for my little cult daddy. Go, cult daddy! I don't want to hear those. When I say discourse, when I say a discussion, your thoughts, I'm talking about the topic, okay? Don't waste your time with your bullshit. I want serious people to give me some feedback on what you feel about this. All of it. Because our country should be doing what Australia and New Zealand did to Candace Owen. Those people, shut the fuck up and lay down with your bigotry and your racism. Shut the fuck up and keep it in your home. Or face the consequences. Because this is just hate speech. And so many states already have hate crime laws. Trying to take the fucking one of the seats we flipped in North Carolina. Trying to take it away. You won the fucking presidency. What the hell? Such greedy Republicans. You know, it's one thing to be a bad loser. A lot of people are bad losers. But to be a bad winner, that's just the bottom of the barrel. That's pathetic. And all you little maggot parrot sheep walking around like you're on the top of the world. I don't know. One of these days, are you ever going to realize how fucking stupid you've been? How blind you've been and how stubborn you've been? And if you do ever recognize it and realize it, are you going to ever apologize to any of us? How about apologizing to the world what you just unleashed on it? Don't worry, I apologized. I put an apology out to the world and to the four of the other 5 eyes already. Because none of you people that voted for Trump and are already regretting it, not one of you have apologized for it publicly. You're just like, I'm sorry. You haven't put out a sincere, genuine, America, I am so sorry. I fucked up. I am so sorry. World leaders, world countries, I am so fucking sorry I helped get Trump in. God, I am so sorry. You know, you could have done it. A little humble, a little humility. But none of you have that I've seen. Not one of you have done that. And that shows who you really are too. You're complaining a lot about your progressive family, friends, co-workers distancing themselves from you. You don't have the little progressive ears of compassion for things going wrong with you, for you anymore. All you have are your little MAGA buddies that all they want to do is MAGA all the time. You can't even humble yourself enough to say, everybody, I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. And I'm never going to not research and vote. I am never going to vote again if I don't research. I promise I will not vote without researching. Have any of you said that? No. I haven't heard. Now, somebody may have, and I have skipped it. And if I have, and somebody has seen something like that, and I'm not talking about whining about how he's this or that. I'm talking about apologizing because you now regret your vote. If anybody has seen any of those, let me know. Show me where to find it. Because I haven't seen anybody but myself do that yet. And I wasn't a voter for him. I apologized for the people who voted for him for their incredible racism, bigotry, and stupidity. Because that's the only reason. Those are the only reasons you would have voted for him again. Or even for the first time, but you knew what he was. He knew he was a snake. And still, you invited him in. I really want to know what you guys, some feedback on here. I do. I want to know. And like I said, some honest feedback. And if you don't know what feedback means, then look it up before you start writing. If you've watched this video and you like it, you've seen a few of my other videos, obviously you're looking at them. Give me a subscribe if you would. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Just some things that I wanted to point out to you. Some little news items, like I said, and my opinion on this whole 22, almost a quarter of the women in this country. How do you propose on helping all of us rape survivors and sexual assault survivors? How do you propose on helping us get through the next 4 years of having the highest position in our country, probably in the world, held by a rapist? There is so much anger about the rape that bubbles up every time I have to hear him fucking talk about him or look at his stupid face. That arrogant, self-entitled asshole. And knowing that he's emboldening every other little maggot, which is half this country, into believing that women are completely fine to assault. They're not full people. They're subservient. That's what they're here for. To serve the men. To take care and be their mommy when their mommy doesn't want them hiding in her house at 35. She's tired of cleaning and cooking and doing laundry for him. So, he goes and marries. And that's what he wants. Yeah. It's no wonder there's so many angry little incels. Because you're so busy putting women down and people of color down and people in the LGBTQ community down that you're not spending any time improving yourself. Widening your views. You men have done, many of you men, not all, but a lot of you that are complaining about not getting laid or not getting a date or not finding a good woman. There's a lot of us around. Just we don't want you crappy men. We don't want liars and thieving people stealing shit from our purse, and we don't want that. We don't want somebody flitting in whenever he feels like it and If you're dating, there's 3, 4 days go by and we can't get a hold of you. We don't want that shit. You alpha male? Echo male. And we don't want you guys. Because you're arrogantly self-entitled and have absolutely no reason to be. You have a lot of work that needs to be done, and you certainly aren't good enough, perfect enough to be arrogant about yourself and how incredibly privileged we women should be, to take care of your home and raise children for you. Kiss this. You should be grateful as hell that you have a woman that's still gonna want to treat you like she's your mommy, cooking and cleaning and picking up after you and washing your nasty ass clothes. But instead you think, oh, you should be glad you're getting a good man. You should be glad you're getting a woman that's willing to put up with your crap. So, this whole 50-50 thing, most of you ain't pulling your weight on it. And you're also screaming that women are getting the high-paying jobs. That's why I can't get one. No, we've had to be better than men and work harder just to get the same position as a man. He can piss off all he wants, but the women that get the positions usually get it with a lot of crawling and scratching and fighting for it. So men are handed it a lot more easily, and you're just gotten so used to everything just getting handed to, especially you white men. You're so used to everything getting handed to you, including the women. And that, with these generations, you just have not changed with the women. You've spent all this time, since women haven't been under your thumb, all these decades, getting angry and trying to get back at us and trying to stop us from our freedoms, instead of just improving yourselves to keep up with us. See, when women were feeling oppressed, we did something about it. When men are feeling oppressed, they just sit and blame everybody else and complain. And that's very typically of white males. So, with great power comes great responsibility, and until half of America understands that, we're going to be careening into the pits of hell with only the Democrats in the Congress, in the House and the Senate as a safety net right now. Come a month from now, well, a month and a half. Tell me if you're planning on watching the inauguration, because I sure the hell don't give a shit. I don't want to watch him lie. He might as well just swear on an Archie's comic book, because the Bible doesn't mean shit to him. And even if it did, he didn't mean his word, because he's a liar anyway. So, why bother watching somebody that's a rapist become my president? Fuck no. Absolutely not. He doesn't deserve that privilege. He doesn't deserve to wash the toilet of a president. Oh, that's right, he has a problem with toilets. It's either because he's so full of shit that he clogs them all the time, or he's still flushing documents. Which he probably is, because they didn't recover all the missing documents. So, he's probably thrown them out or eaten them with ketchup or something. But anyway, I've had a long day, and it's been really, really bugging me. Especially the Mika and Joe thing. And then when they came out earlier today with that shit, or yesterday, acting like No, 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 you misunderstood, you guys. Come on back and subscribe. You forgot. You did. No, let me explain. It's a Morning Joe show. We're done with them. Um, but I really am curious. Um, Mostly from women and anybody who's in that 22.3.4%. How do you feel about that? Okay, guys. Peace out. It's been a long freaking week. Take care. Have a great evening.